the manager of the Copenhagen Wolves, Guillermo. Now, Guillermo, straight off the bat, what kind of a manager are you?
Well, I'm the business director of Wolves, so I'm not really the team manager. I work mostly with sponsors, the brand value, which is really important for us. I also obviously work around the players, since they are our first image. And I also scout for new talents and new teams, so that's pretty much what I do.
You talk about the branding is very important. You had a team that didn't perform as well. Are results more important, or are what you can make out of the players more important?
Of course, results are important. I mean, the big teams, the one who win most of the times, they get more fans. But we were 09 and still we had plenty of fans. I mean, everyone was cheering for us. Everyone wanted us to be better. And then again, I would like to say thanks to them, because it really means a lot when you are 09 and they are still behind you and supporting you. So thank you, fans, for being with Wolves all the time.
Nice, of course. Maybe it was even a good thing that you were in that position, because you kept getting more and more fans.
It's not a good thing.
Obviously.
We want to win games, but then again, we lost some. Now we are in a winning streak. Like, we hope this is the snowball effect. Two wins and beating Fnatic today, awesome, off the hook. I mean, really, really good. Team's morale is up now. Fans are really happy. So everything is going well now, I think.
Speak a little more into the mic so people hear everything you have to say.
Of course.
What I wanted to ask you, too, is that we have a unique situation here in LCS. Normally, swapping players and kicking players is kind of routine, but here in the LCS, they have to stay with the lineup. So how do you deal with bad results and maybe changing one thing or the other?
We think that kicking players is not always the best solution. I mean, sometimes you have to do it. We have done it in the past. But we tend to work our problems from the inside out. I mean, we work with all the players, we fix the problem, we see what's not going well, we discuss a lot, the players discuss a lot, they work really a lot off the cameras. I mean, they watch a lot of replays, they talk a lot. So this is how we solve the problems, this is how we win matches. After being down for 0-8, 0-9, then we talk, we discuss, and we win.
If I understand correctly, you're not the person that's going to say we're going to use this or this strategy. So who is kind of the leader in that team?
Well, we are different from the other teams. Like, everyone has a saying on the strategies, but I would say the Fisho is like the main one, but everyone has a saying on the strategies. That's also something unique from us.
Can you tell us something about your personal background? Do you have a background in gaming, or do you come from somewhere else?
Well, I used to play FPS like Counter-Strike. I was okay, I guess, never been a pro player or anything close to that. And I started following other games like Dota, Dota 2. And then when I joined Wolves, I decided to really follow League of Legends. So I'm still learning a lot in League of Legends. So I won't be commenting on any strats or something. I'm not ready, but I promise that by the end of LCS, I'll do something about it.
Nice promise. Now, for the organization, the Copenhagen Wolves, what are they about? Is it just League of Legends?
No, it's not just about League of Legends. We have a long history in the FPSs, in Counter-Strike Source mostly. Now we have two teams, League of Legends and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, both Danish teams. We are scouting for new talents, and we have a new project for the StarCraft community in Denmark, like the unknown players. We are giving them the shot to become something in the European scene. We are going to build our own academy in Copenhagen, so this is our main project, and more to come, but I can't disclose all details now. So
I understand, of course. Are you in the process of finding a house here for the Wolves?
Yes, indeed, we are. We had a small problem with the house we found. They had problems with the kitchen, they had to rebuild it, so that's why the guys haven't moved yet. But I guess next week we have the week off, so we are trying to do that week, so they have time to adapt to the team house, and then just the normal routine, practice routine, and hopefully it will be a big important step for us, because they will have the power to focus on training a lot. And it's really important because most of the teams already live at their team houses and we don't, so that's an handicap for us. But still, we have shown that we have done good performances and we can score more wins in our leaderboards.
Do you think it's your presence here? Because it's the first weekend we see you at the LCS.
Yeah, I know. It's the first weekend, and I told him that it was my G factor, bring the wins, but then again, it was just a joke. I mean, they could have scored more wins back in the past. I mean, they were sometimes unlucky, sometimes they just couldn't finish the games. And then now it's a snowball effect. We have 2 wins in a row, 3rd win incoming, hopefully. Don't want to jinx it, so let's see how it works.
Couple of more questions. Since DreamHack, I believe, is like the first time that we saw the Wolves on a big stage, can you guide us through how it went from there?
Well, I'm talking a lot about snowball effect, but it was exactly what it looked like. I mean, it was DreamHack, then we had Thor Open, if I remember correctly, Northcom qualifiers, and now LCS. So team has been improving each and every event, and that was really important for us. I mean, DreamHack was the first time we said we are Wolves, we are ready. We are here to fight against the top teams. So.
We are Wolves, we are ready. That's
exactly.
Nice.
We're Wolves, we are ready. That's a soundbite.
Yeah, absolutely. Final question. You don't take that much about strategy, but what is, in your opinion, the things that the Wolves have to do to grasp this momentum?
They have to still work on the communication. I think the first 8 losses were most of times bad communication. Today we saw that on Fnatic's match. When the Fnatic was doing Baron, bad engagement, bad communication. Bjergsen was supposed to teleport, he didn't. So communication is a key factor for us. They are working on it, and every day they are improving. So.
You seem to be picking up a lot about the game.
I am, I told you. I promise you. Last week's I'll be ready to replace Joe Miller, perhaps.
Finally, do you have any shout-outs? I know you just launched a new website.
Yeah, please keep supporting us, fans. We love you. We love that you love us. And visit us on our website. Thank you to Complete and SteelSeries for being with us for quite a long time now. And just keep supporting our players because they deserve it. They put a lot of effort on this. And thank you for having me here.
No problem. Thank you very much. We're going to go over to our analyst. Communication is the key. Do you guys agree?
Communication is agreeing. Well, he can come and sit here, and next half of the season I'll guide Wolves to the top of the league. So, communication is the real point here, obviously. Aranea, you know maybe better than all of us here in this group that communication for a team is #1.
Yeah, it's a key factor. Like, I have a lot of people in Facebook or in Twitter and in other like media asking me like, what is the most important thing for a jungler? And I'm always like telling them like communication is the key factor of the jungler. And many people like in this game, for example, like said Snoopy was playing bad with Vi or something like that. But I have to say that Snoopy, his great thing is his communication with the team. He's leading the team so well.
Yeah, and can you almost, I mean, I have experienced this from other games as well. The guy calling the strategies generally isn't the guy doing the best in-game in terms of, you know, their individual performance. Can it almost be excused sometimes that the guy who's making these calls isn't quite up to par in terms of not necessarily the skill level, but what they achieve in-game that you can physically see into, you know, the score that they have?
Yeah, it's always pretty much like that. Not in all the teams. There are some teams that the leader is also like the best individual player. Like I think in Fnatic, Peke has a lot of boys on that team, and he's also a really good player. But sometimes the leader, the in-boys game, he's probably the one who has to focus more on watching all his teammates instead of like preparing for himself to get like the kills or to get like better KDA.
And speaking of communication, because you know in alternate you have people who speak different languages. How does that affect you guys?
I guess I'm the worst speaking English, but the rest is like...
Does Shen and Ash get played much when you guys...
I don't know what you're talking about again.
I'm pretty sure you do, but yeah, tell us about it. Like, how does it really affect you guys when you're trying to practice and make clutch plays?
We all can speak English. We all can have a conversation in English, so it's fine. Okay. There are some, maybe with some people, especially from Spain and France, the level of English is not that great, and that's something bad for them. For example, I know Giants team, their English level is not that great to like speak a conversation in English. So that's something is not bad for them because they are a full Spanish team, but that's something that they cannot go to an English team, to like a big squad team, like for example SK or teams like that. They can join there because they don't have the enough English level to talk with the people.
It's funny you mentioned that because we had Xpeke here, and he was talking about how when he first joined Fnatic, you know, he didn't speak English that well. He could say, you know, like go top, go back, GoBot or something like that. But over time, he finally, adapted, learned some more English, and was able to, speak it more fluently.
The thing is, you have to realize that at the start, when Peke joined Fnatic, maybe he has not the best English, but still, like at the start of the Fnatic team, my Ravens team, it wasn't like the ideal team or the dream team, and they didn't know they will keep together for a long time. But if you have to keep together, you have to live in a gaming house, if you have to live in Cologne with everyone, and you can't communicate properly with your guys, going to be really, really like bad time. It's going to be really painful for you. It's true. Like you're going to spend so many time with the same people, and you're not able to communicate well with them. It's going to be really hard for you.
What about your personal story there? I mean, how much English were you speaking before you got into, these mixed nationality teams?
I was, my mom and my father always like pushed me to speak more English and send me to like England or like Ireland to speak more English. So I guess like I had to say thanks to them to teach me or to make me learn a lot of English.
Do you think that's a hurdle in the European scene? I mean, obviously in the North American scene, it's not a problem whatsoever. I mean, I guess that's something that, over the pond there in the US, they don't even think about a language barrier because, quite frankly, there isn't a language barrier here. But do you think we could have seen more players rising to the top if it wasn't for this whole language barrier that they've got? I mean, there are some great players out there in Eastern Europe, in Russia even, I mean, that probably could have been right now in some of these LCS teams.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think like in the north of Europe, like Norway, like Sweden, Denmark, they speak perfect English.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the main languages they have, not even like their own country language. It's English, the languages. But in countries like Spain, like France, like Italy, or in the east of Europe, like Russia, like Poland, English is not the main languages, and you can see that we lack on that languages, and we lack on communication from that. And that's also a point. Like I see a lot of Polish people, Russian people with a really high individual level, but they can join these teams because they don't have the proper English to talk.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit's a perfect example with Alex. He's the one that we're most used to speaking English, but I mean, obviously they all can't understand English, as we found out with Diamond, but, also meet your makers. Like, Makati is the one that really talks to them most of the time. They speak Polish a lot, and they're not, too fluent with it, but it definitely is a big factor, and I completely agree with you on that. And it's weird, because in North America, you're saying they all speak English, and yet there seems to be a distinct skill level difference between the regions.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
just simple as that.
Yeah, it's true. Like in America, they all speak English. It's perfect for them. If they like in one player, they can find another player from America, and he will have correct communication with them. But in Europe, if you lack on one player, you want to get another one, you have to realize that he has to speak a good English with you. He has to be a good player with you. I don't know. It's harder than in America.
I think Nijak is the only one that really would have had that problem. I believe he is from China, and actually his English isn't perfect, obviously, but I guess he learned it enough to speak it with his team, and I mean, look at Cursor now; they're leading their entire region.
Yep.
Do you think it would then benefit teams to take English classes together? I mean, I guess that's something that not really any teams have probably thought of, because they'll agree that their level's good enough right now. But do you think it would help?
I think at the end, like the best English class you can have is just being on the TS all together all the day. I think it's the best way to learn English, like being on the TS and talking, and even like I do a lot of mistakes, but sometimes like my team, sometimes they just talk me and just make fun of my pronunciation of my words, but sometimes they try to like correct me and say, no, you have to say it like this way, or you have to pronounce it like this other way. So they help me with that. It's the best teacher you can have.
Well, I know the same from obviously living here in Germany, that it doesn't matter how many books you read about a language, the only way that you can learn it is to speak and make those mistakes and, well, correct them as you go, basically. I mean, you look like a fool right at the start. You feel like a fool, but you got to get over the whole thing and just keep going. So either way, let's touch upon our next game, because it is going to be a beast of a matchup. It's Fnatic versus Gambit Gaming. Obviously, we've already seen Fnatic losing to Copenhagen Wolves in Game 1. Talk to us on your thoughts with Fnatic versus Gambit.
Well, I talk about my thoughts in the Fnatic against Wolves. I said Fnatic. I talk about my thoughts about from EG against AA. I said EG, so I prefer not to talk about my thoughts now because I will fail. It's like before the match, I was talking with Quick Boy. I said like Fnatic. I think Fnatic gonna win. He said GG gonna win. Is the counter to Fnatic. But I don't know now. I just don't know. I think GG looks really strong from yesterday's performance against CG. But Fnatic looked really strong yesterday as well. But today it was like some kind of messy game with the teleport, with the base race. I don't know.
See, my big question is that we have N-Rated, who's a really strong support. We have Edward, who's a really strong support as well. I mean, saw Edward playing Thresh, did an amazing job on him. Is that where the action's really going to go down? I mean, to me, it's like a battle of the supports in this one. You know, who can keep the most coverage around the map with the wards, and who can really create that opportunity for your AD carry in the bottom lane.
Well, I have to say that I don't think it's going to be all the action in bottom. I think Darian, it's super aggressive player. Soath, it's super crazy player, and they also get the camp from the jungler. So I really think in top lane we're gonna have a real action match. It's gonna be really epic in top lane, and yeah, I think it's gonna be like in top lane and probably mid lane. I don't see like bottom that many action.
Oh, okay, well then take a step further. What about bans and picks? What are we expecting?
Well, I expect like a trash ban against GG, I guess. I expect that a Kassadin ban against Fnatic most probably. Then you don't know because they can play like pretty much everything. They both play like every champion. I expect also a Xin Zhao ban against any of two teams. Who has the first pick is gonna get the ban. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Diamond, he played an amazing Xin Zhao yesterday versus EG. And then you had Edward with the Thresh. I mean, they locked down Froggen every time on that Nidalee, and they would just kill him. And it was just, well, GG from there.
Good job, Jason. But while we're on the topic of Fnatic, you may remember from a couple of weeks ago we had Xpeke here, and a little moment that we shared here on the analysis desk.
Pretty much we cook for 2 hours or something because we had nothing to do.
Cooking with Xpeke.
So we're just there cooking. Like today I bought a chicken and I was just cutting it in pieces. And I was there for 1 hour doing that because we had nothing else to do.
So coming to a YouTube channel near you soon, Cooking with Xpeke. And as we promised you guys, Cooking with Xpeke.
Welcome to the Fnatic Cooking Show. Do you really want to see me cooking? I guess you want to see me playing. It's really nice to be on the same house together with all the team because we get to know each other better, we become closer, we're really friends. Once we stop playing, we forget about the game, about the job, and we just focus on being friends. It's like a family, pretty much.
I see no disadvantages with living in a house, but we will see how it goes.
The gaming house for me, it's a big advantage because we can get closer as a team, and of course we can improve and get better.
I really appreciate Peke for his cooking skills because I think if I was living alone I would be just eating rice and McDonald's every day, so it's really great to have someone who can cook in the house.
Living with my teammates is a whole different experience. It also helps us a lot as a team because we have the same day rhythm and we basically eat together and sleep at the same time, and that's just a whole nother level we have reached with that. And when it comes to preparation, we can also do everything together. We can talk about replays, we can analyze strategies someone has and find counter for that. It's just a whole nother experience to live with your teammates.
Having this house is really good because we don't need to travel every week. We have to play now on LCS every week, and we can just go from the house by car. It's really close, the studio from our house. And yeah, now we can just focus on doing what we want, which is playing League of Legends and winning Season 3.
Well, you heard it here first. They're going to focus on winning Season 3. But to do that, they're going to have to beat Gambit Gaming. They've already hit a rather large hurdle, has to be said, this morning against the Copenhagen Wolves. But here is match 3 of the day. It is going to be Fnatic versus Gambit. The last time these two teams met, Gambit pretty much stomped their way home to convincing fashion. Can Fnatic upset the Russian overlords and stop the Thresh Prince of Armenia? Because that's where he's from, ladies and gentlemen. I had to find out. I had a conversation with him just 10 minutes ago.
Well, it's good to know. Now we can actually start, awarding that title. Thresh has been banned out against him a number of times.
He actually said, I'm never going to be able to play Thresh today, have I? Not a chance. Let's check out the teams, of course. It is going to be Gambit Gaming as the blue team. Different to actually previously advertised, of course. This is because in week 1, they were different roles. So we've had to actually switch it around. So the admins have stepped in. We made it so things are fair. So it is going to be Gambit starting out as the blue team as they were meant to in week 1. This time, of course, it's going to be Darian, Diamond, Alex Genja, and the Thresh Prince, Edward.
And of course, for Fnatic, Soaz, Cyanide, Xpeke, Yellow Star, and N-Rated.
So what are we expecting from these teams? Well, superstars is what they have, and backdoor power kind of nearly worked for Fnatic earlier on there. Peke, of course, is the man. He had his highlight moment. He had Cyanide alongside him this time, but it just did not work for him, of course. That's because Cassidy was on the other team.
Yeah, exactly. He picked the wrong backdoor champion this time around. And, of course, for Gambit Gaming, we know every single one of their players. Alexic is the man that we've highlighted right now to see, he's stomping his way through. He's playing so powerful. Played Zed a couple of days ago and just, really tearing faces apart. And something we do have to mention, Diamond, when they played in week number 1, ran Volibear for, I think, the second time. It was game 2 of their weekend. He went 4-0-19 on that Volibear. So,
yeah, but, I mean, surely it's all about the Thresh Prince, because he went, what was it, 5-0-11 yesterday?
Exactly.
If you look at the Meet Your Makers ESL Masters Major Series game, he went 8-1-11. His Thresh has been unstoppable.
Well, look at this way. We've just named 3 out of the 5 players. We can now start talking about Darian's champion pool.
Renekton on the top lane. Exactly. Oh my God, there's so many top players in this game. It is going to be a huge, huge clash. And the irony is, when we looked at the schedule, we were like, oh, wow, Fnatic versus Gambit, isn't that going to be a great game? But we've already had 2 absolutely outstanding games today. How the heck is this one going to stack up?
I got a better question. Is it the day of underdogs? Because let's...
Well, who's the underdog?
Well, that's the question. In games 1 or 2, we had a clear underdog, so to speak.
Are they equal on score now? I think they are in standings.
In terms of standings, you have Gambit Gaming, who are 6 wins and 2 losses. Coming into this matchup, Fnatic were 7 wins and 1 loss. Now it's 7 wins and 2 losses, I believe, with the previous match. We'll do a quick refresh on that. It might be 7 and 3 now. No, it is 7 and 2. So relatively close in that regard. If Gambit manage to pick up this win, I think they'll actually jump themselves fairly high up the board in terms of those win percentage. But in the meantime, we have very, very fast bans going through. Elise, Leona, and Caitlyn removed for Gambit.
Well, the irony is that we were talking about Gambit being not playing up to their potential just a day ago, and they have actually played brilliant yesterday. So can they do exactly the same? They, like I mentioned at the opening show, they dominated that first game, absolutely dominated against Fnatic. They was not even close. Can they do the same again? Gambit seem to have, well, they have smiles on their face right now. They seem to be getting it going again, getting the ball rolling. We talked about sometimes they just don't take games 100% seriously. It seems to me that they've gone, okay, it's time to focus, and we're going to win this league.
Yeah, it looks like it. Based on the performance that we've seen yesterday, it appears as though Gambit have said, okay, we need to actually quell all the naysayers and get all the question marks answered because, they turned on the pressure, they turned on the heat. I think this game is going to be the definite yes or definite no in that regard, because if they come in here and they just tear faces apart, then, maybe it's a Gambit that we've been waiting for, that everybody's been sort of saying, they're there, but they're just not quite there. And these are the bans, picks and bans once again. We did have just a quick dropout. Volibear being the final ban. As we said, Diamond Prox, he just tore them apart the last time they met. It is sort of the flavor of the month, so to speak, in terms of junglers. And who is Gambit going to lock first pick for their...
I was about to say, why the hell have they banned Caitlyn? Because Yellowstar's been playing Misfortune the whole time. But they're going to use Misfortune as the first pick.
Now, Yellowstar and Caitlyn, go hand in hand. They've played... Yellowstar has played Caitlyn many, many times in the past. Has the ability to do very well. Kayle slipped through the cracks and has immediately been picked up. I mean, that was a 10-second turnaround. Kayle, Sona, locked in, end of story.
Yeah, they seem to be happy. Cyanide on Kayle did have it banned against him earlier on by Copenhagen Wolves, I believe. But as it is, it's going to be N-rated on Sona. So what will they pick up here? Oh, could be the horse.
Amazing. It
could be the horse for Diamond Prox. He's a man that can play anything. Yeah, you wish it was Lee Sin. I'd be happy with that one, that's for sure. But I don't think it's going to be. Diamond is discussing this one. You can see he's actually hovering over it. Nasus is definitely something he's shown.
They did that last weekend and it worked very,
Any more
very
you're going to end up on? We know you have a ginormous champion pool here, Diamond. Don't tease us with these things.
And remember the last time that we've seen that jungle Nasus, every time he picks up a kill with the siphoning strike on those large monsters in the jungle, it gets double the rewards. Nasus. It has been locked in. So going to take that Nasus, going to be going for, most likely in the jungle, going to be throwing Shen up into the top lane. We still haven't seen the support pick or the AP middle. And this is going to be interesting for me for Edward because his Sona has been taken away, his Thresh has been banned. So who is going to play
as well.
next? Leona's not there for selection. Tarek, Sleeper OP?
Tarek
Well, I
is...
use the word sleeper, but that's not really true.
It's going to be Tarek, I think. That's what I'm feeling anyway. Let's see what Fnatic do come out with. Rumble, we just saw Wicked playing Rumble. I'm never convinced by Rumble, but the Koreans absolutely love that champion, or they did for a while during the OGN summer, I believe it was, when he was considered to be completely OP. His AP ratios are very strong, and it's going to be Corki being selected by Yellowstar. We saw Corki last night in the North American League Championship Series. Interesting to see, and it's Soaz going to be taking away Rumble.
A lot of Corki, a lot of Tristana yesterday, as well as that Corki. So an interesting pick, slightly different to what we're used to seeing. They've got a huge amount of low-level poke and burst. That Phosphorus Bomb plus a power cord out of Sona, it is so powerful in those early levels. So expect to see a nice, strong advantage from them. I see Morgana being hovered over right here, and there was a lot of talk last week on Reddit about whether or not we're going to start seeing support Morganas. And it's something that we've seen a little bit every now and again.
We did see Muffin Cutie doing that very regularly when it used to be Team Fear. Now it's, of course, on Vulcan. We haven't quite seen it yet. Blitzcrank, of course, is a possibility. I haven't seen Edward playing it for a while. He did play it for a short while. He also played Fiddlesticks for a short while. Zyra would make sense, and Alexic on Kassadin would certainly make sense.
Yes, so true. And again, a really powerful composition. You've got good initiation, counter initiation. Tarek looks like it is going to be locked in the last couple of seconds, though. So it is the Tarek. You get plus 1 million internets for that correct prediction. And for the final pick now for Fnatic, they need to decide who are they going to take to lock down Kassadin. Who do they want to replace, shut him down the middle lane? Katarina is available. It didn't work out in the previous game because Renekton and Xin just got too tanky and too beefy. And I'm afraid that the Nasus and the Shen combination will be fairly similar. So I don't expect to see a Katarina, but with intervention there, it might buy that extra time needed to get a full channel on the Death Lotus out. So, there's the ability for both.
Win CN rated on the screen, discussing with his team what exactly they are going to select. Will it be an AP mid, or will they keep Kale in the mid? It's going to be against Kassadin, so they want something that could counter it. Something maybe like, I don't know what they're going to go with, actually. I mean, Peke plays a number of champions. I don't expect to see a Kassadin come out there. Sorry,
Why? So look at this now. This is questions.
It's going to be Kale mid then. So
this is no questions. It could also be Vi mid.
It could be Vi mid.
I don't really know how Vi would do against Kassadin at the early levels.
It's not going to be Katarina, at least this time.
Exactly.
As soon as he saw that Kassadin, I was like, no. Soaz.
You see, it does look like it might be...
Could they switch it around? Could they change the lanes around?
It's definitely a possibility. The 1v2 lanes, and of course Rumble will be able to do very well in a 1v2. Get that Flame Spitter out, jumping, a lot of the creeps down under the tower, as well as the shield is going to help out. It's going to be a bit risky against the Tarek MF combo because a Dazzle at low levels is going to be a lot of damage. On the other side, you've got the poke that can come out from Corki and from Sona onto Shen if they decide to go for that swap. So I think Fnatic would probably be the ones that would be more likely to do the swap in this situation, because Rumble should do relatively well at these low levels. And it does look like Vi's going to go into the middle right now. It still hasn't been swapped out. We've seen Shushe doing it time and time again. And at the last 7 seconds, it does go into the jungle.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be. We thought it was going to switch just as the screen came away. Peke and Cyanide switched around. So Kale in that mid lane, Vi in the jungle. Soaz, the top laner for Fnatic. And of course, for Gambit, it is going to be Nasus in the jungle. We saw him, of course, pull Nasus out. Was it against Fnatic last time he pulled Nasus out? I think it may have been.
I'm going to double check that right now. I don't think that it was. Let's double check. Yeah, no, Rector was Volibear in the jungle. Because yes, he Diamond
of course, that was the original Volibear. Yeah, came out. Yeah.
Nasus jungle, I believe, was last weekend actually for Gambit. I'm going to see if I can get the statistics for that very quickly. On Nasus in the jungle, 13 KDA. Average gold of 282, and it is just such a powerful performance. But we are into the matchup. It is going to be Cyanide running Vi, and just getting confirmation there, it was actually the Giants who Jungle Nasus was used against. So Giant Nasus against the Spanish Giants.
I like what you did there. It is Gambit as the blue team on your screen, and Fnatic as the red team starting out the game, and a gold advantage actually with Gambit. That's going to be somebody setting the utility spec heavily here.
It's Edward. He's got 525 gold, starting gold.
Including, I might add, the pro players. Half the pro players we have on this desk, when you turn and talk to them about some skill, they're like, what the hell are you on about? Oh, the W.
Yes, that is the one. The attack speed increase and, of course, the reduced healing from Genja's Misfortune. A very passive start from both of these teams so far. It's just slow farming and CSing. Cyanide wants to give some love to Alexish, and we'll see if he can pull this one off.
Well, he's giving love to a ward at the moment, and just the bottom line, Alexish may well go a little bit forward. He has got the double buff on him. If he can catch on towards Alex, of course, hasn't got level 6 right now, has flash available, though. We did see in a failed gank from a Vi in the last game. As it is, Cyanide is stealing away the Wraiths just off the bottom of the screen, and you know what? Almost identical fashion you could come across round the back here. This is like Dignitas versus Moscow 5 right now.
Oh, what a flash!
Flash comes out from Alexish and avoids it. But that's flash burn. That's a successful gank.
Now, if anything, if we want to learn anything from earlier in the day, if you do attempt to go for another gank, make sure that there's no other escapes. Freddy122 secured first, but it's Diamond wants this one.
Oh, way too kited there. And Peke's just like, well, I know what's coming here. And just instead, lane tax.
Yeah, exactly. Just going to walk in there and, claim some gold, claim some experience and walk away. Yellowstar having a tough time in this bottom lane right now. Does have some potions, sitting 11 CS behind at the moment. So I think Yellowstar has already recalled the fact that he's spent some of that gold to pick up some pots. And the early level pressure coming out of this Taric and Misfortune lane is pushing them back.
He was sent back earlier, and you see the Dazzle coming out, flashed away Yellowstar there, so that means Flash is burnt already, so we potentially see a gank coming out there. Now N-rated, they're trying to force the Flash out of him. As it is, he puts the power cord back on towards Genja, and they turn the damage back towards Edward as well. Edward forced away. Good trade between these two middle laners here, duo laners, as I should say. CS-wise, actually 36-23. That's because Yellowstar was sent packing early on. Mid lane, 38-23. Big advantage starting to be built up by Peke there. And remember, Flash already burned by Alexish. That can only get worse.
And of course, in that middle lane, Cassidy is going to be, he is expected to be behind, and at these early levels when those null spheres aren't, don't have as many ranks in them or ability power to back them up, it's going to be able to be mitigated relatively well by Xpeki. He does have that heal in lane. He has the ability to deal damage without needing to continually cast spells, and it's definitely one of the advantages that he's had. Also remember that Peke has taken Kayle into this middle lane in response to Cassidy being selected. So he had the ability to counter-pick if they wanted to send that Kayle into the jungle. And we'll see exactly how it plays out. He's putting quite a lot of damage down into Alex.
Well, we see Corki still getting some poke back and forward between Genja there, and Genja's going to get 3 extra shots on Yellowstar there, so winning out that trade once again. Certainly being a lot more aggressive, as we mentioned, back in Katowice. Certainly stepped up his game in Season 3. Gone, maybe responded to maybe a call from his duo laner Edward. I want you to be a little more aggressive in this lane. He always used to be captain passive, but seems to have gone a little bit more aggressive these days, in support of his AD carry, Edward.
And it's working very well. I mean, I would have given the early game pressure in favor of Yellowstar and N-rated in terms of, the poke and the burst that they can put down. But, support Genja. He's the one dealing the damage. He's getting the double ups, and he's keeping Fnatic literally defending.
Here we go. Ghost being used there, and he's managed to get the slow straight down. Alexish gonna try and get the damage down. He has got his ultimate available. There's intervention. Is it going to be enough? The tank's only coming down, but immediately comes straight across. He does pick up first blood. Stand United comes out. Can they turn this around towards Cyanide? Safety first, but in comes Soaz. He's going to try and chase around. Darian maybe caught out. The Wither comes down, just managed to flash through, and another great escape. No, Alex taken down by the Ignite. Cyanide forced to back away, but Soaz now coming out towards Darren. Forced another flash. Summoner spells burnt across the board, and it's still only the 2 mid laners that went down.
Cyanide just hit level 6.
He's teleporting in the bush.
Is he going to be able to get it?
Soaz is going to come in. They're going to catch on towards him, and that is just dangerous play. We talked about it in the game before, that these LCS players are going to have to start picking safer spots to recall, and he was stood on top of a ward, and Fnatic turning into a 2-for-1.
Cyanide sat under that turret, trying to kill creeps as quickly as possible. As Enraged gets stunned up, they turn the pressure back onto Edward. This is the poke I was talking about.
The flash comes out from Edward. He has to back away here. Yellowstar has going to get, immediately goes in towards it. He does take it down, but it's N-rated being the scumbag for once and taking the kill away from Yellowstar.
N-rated learning, taking a page out of the Thresh Prince of Almania's book, securing that kill with Sona as only Sona can do.
And there is the blue buff now being given across to Alexic. Of course, it was all about both champions hitting level 6 in that mid lane. Alexic and Peke, they both went aggressive the moment it happened. Of course, Ghost was burnt by Diamond, but all across the board, summoner spells burnt across everyone indeed. The question is, though, can Peke continue to keep the grip on the CS in his mid lane? 57-28 right now against Alexic, but of course, Alex, with that kill, will have picked up some of that gold advantage. Blue buff currently for both champions. We do see Peke continuing to pressure on towards the turret.
He's going to carry on chunking this down. He's got the cooldown reduction and ability power from that Fiendish Codex helping him out. And Cyanide doing something that Cyanide does very, very often. Peke might be in trouble, though, because Diamond's here.
Diamond's coming back around, and the slow immediately from Alex Itch there will manage to keep him back here. Wither does come down, gets the silence down, and immediately manages to catch him out. Peke being taken down very low. Alex Itch is going to flash across, and immediately Cyanide goes back in. Interventions comes down. They turn it back around on towards Diamond Prox there. Immediately, can they catch it? Cyanide, will he go for the turret dive? No, they won't, but it doesn't matter. Advantage was gained once again, and well, Fnatic turn another kill. Meanwhile, down the bottom, you can see actually in the tri-bush, and Reddy came around. I thought he was going to go for it instead. Edward does force him to back away.
Really, really well played from Fnatic. They responded to that pressure. It almost looked as though Soaz knew the gank was incoming because he was moving from the tri-bush down. The moment Diamond Prox was seen in that lane, they managed to group up and secure themselves a kill. Intervention once again used at the exact right moment, saving Xpeke's life and allowing him to pick up another assist. All 3 kills have gone onto Rumble right now, and we're talking about Rumble and whether or not he fits in, whether or not he does well. But when you're 3-0 and you've got that Haunting Guise and an Amplifying Tome, almost Landry's Torment completed, you are a terrifying little Yordle.
Double the CS currently for Peke, 33-66. He is working wonders in that mid lane, countering very heavily on towards Alex Itch. 2 ganks tried, 2 ganks failed for Gambit. How are they going to turn this one around? Of course, Diamond Prox, he's going to be a fearful jungler when he does finally come out there. Of course, you know, with the Nasus changes, gaining that Q, building that Q up. Let's have a look, see how much he's built it up so far.
In total right now, it's 30 base. It's single point into it, plus 160 damage already. There is plus 87 physical damage on each of those Qs because he is maxing it on those large monsters in the jungle. I do also want to point out those boots of mobility before that gank happened. The reason Cyanide was there in time, the reason he could help out, is he is flying through the jungle with those massive, massive movement speed boosts. A base movement speed of 447 right now. So he's just going to be, you know, closing in every single time there's pressure.
Well, we see Peke as well. He's obviously maxing out the Q, but he is doing the damage. It's actually a similar build we saw from Shushan. Again, they're going in towards Peke. This time the Wither should be enough, and Peke has got that intervention, has managed to use it, but is it enough? We see Cyanide coming back around there. Stan United was not enough. You can see Alex Itch, they could turn this into a double kill on towards Cyanide. It's Ed Diamond that's tanking the damage, but instead they called to back away. And well, Darian had to Stan United in. Darian absolutely down to nothing. He kind of saved himself. Soaz, I think, was about to kill him.
Soaz is pushing the top lane tower. He's got a decent minion wave there, gets it down to about 20% HP, and does a very good job at continuing the pressure. Stand United used to save that middle lane, but Gambit Gaming 2 kills down and only 800 gold behind. So it works out about even.
And the damage actually done to Genja in that bottom lane as well. The other star put the pressure on there, so as he's took the turret down. So first turret goes down to Fnatic. That bottom lane is being forced away, but Yellowstar is going to back off. So Yellowstar actually turning it around a little bit down this bottom lane. The fact that Genja was being pressured has got the CS advantage still, but again, the big, big difference. Soaz leading out quite heavily on towards Darian now, has picked up that turret, but Peke is miles ahead of Alex Itch now.
Yeah, so far ahead. Mercury Treads completed. That's going to help him survive in lane, give him mobility to move around, set up ganks. No boots in the back pocket of Alex Itch at the moment. And I definitely want to point something out.
Tell a lie. He's only 200 gold ahead.
Only 1 assist on the board. There's a kill and an assist there, and Alex got first blood as well. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But something that's interesting about Genja that I pointed out yesterday, he's bought the Avarice Blade again, and it almost always gets upgraded to the static shiv. But time and time again, we're seeing these 80 carries pick that static shiv up first as the first item. Get that extra gold on every single minion kill. Get that extra percentage chance, and Fnatic are going to secure a dragon completely uncontested.
Completely uncontested, 2,000 gold advantage, 4-2 in kills. Dragon down turret advantage. Where are they going to turn their focus to? Looking like the bottom lane is going to continue down there, duo lane, and Soaz is just going to keep winning out that lane. Darian is spotted because he's stood on top of a ward, which is why Peke is purposely staying back to his turret. He does also have Diamond Procs around the Wraith, though, so needs to be careful he doesn't get back around. We see just off the side there, Cyanide, he's going to come around to them Wraiths and see they are disappeared.
Now, summing again, I'm just taking a look at the numbers really quickly. That Avarice Blade has already generated 230 gold.
They're diving in towards Peke. Has to use intervention. Cyanide does come back around. Voltbreaker on towards Darian. He flashes out. Peke is going to go down. Now they dive towards Cyanide. Use the Salt and Battery on towards Darian. Does manage to turn it into a kill. He's going to get taken down, though. It's a double kill for Alex Zinch. And Diamond Procs happy to tank the damage to it. Soaz working his way down the river, but they are already hit and run.
Yeah, that Fury of the Sands, the ultimate from Nasus, is so powerful. Deals percentage HP magic damage over time. The entire duration that you're there gives him a massive chunk of HP. And you can see he's already building tanky items. He's going to be a difficult person to kill. His Q is Siphoning Strike plus 129 bonus damage on top of what the base numbers are already. So very good for them at the moment. Genja gets jumped on.
He goes straight in towards it. Valkyrie's in towards Genja, and a teleport coming in from Peke now on towards Genja. He gets exhausted down. They're going to turn their attention to Edward. Edward flashes out there and escapes it. Soaz was closing in. Does manage to use his ult on towards Edward. They're going to continue to chase this one now. Peke's going to take the damage, but Alex Zinch comes in. He's going to go aggressive towards Yellowstar, in towards the turret. He has got Stand United now coming in. Darian's going to join the fight. On towards Peke. Peke's going to get dropped. Now they're turning towards N-Rated. N-Rated taking very low. They're hitting and running. Get the hell out of there. Edward just delaying them as much as they can. Soaz, of course, already used his ultimate. N-Rated gets dropped very low. Shadow Dash. N-Rated goes down. Now they're on towards Cyanide and Soaz. Can they catch through there? Yellowstar's trying to keep the tower down. He's hitting on that turret, but
Ghost
four
comes
members
out.
of Gambit continue to chase. Soaz, no, can't flash away. Shadow Dash will come out. Will it delay Soaz long enough? Alex Zinch is going to close in. He's going to get the slowdown. Withers back on towards Soaz. Soaz in trouble now. He's going to go down, and multiple kills picked up by Gambit there. A great turnaround and read of the situation and showing how mobile their whole team is.
Fnatic should not have continued with the dive. They got the kill. It was enough. Soaz made the call saying, I'm going to go. Equalizers out. He was 3-0 at the time. He was fed. He thought he was very scary, but they just could not pick up that kill. And because they were so far overextended, they got shut down. Peke is currently 0-4-3 right now, working towards that Nash's tooth. You can see him scratching his head there for a second, and you just think, how could you throw that away? Sinai gets a very big creep wave at the moment, and you know, that entire gold lead, that advantage they had, is just been nullified. This game is completely even.
Completely even. I see it as an actual advantage for Gambit because the last 2-3 fights, they've managed to pick up the advantage every time they've gone back-to-back. Of course, that Stand United has been crucial, but Darian, again, working down this bottom lane turret. Soaz had took that advantage in the top lane, and every single advantage that Fnatic had built up has just been blown by those last 2 team fights.
Yeah, exactly. The gold is not there. The feed is not there. You know, everything is now missing. Alexich, who was 30 CS behind at one point, now has 4 kills and 3 assists. He is getting terrifying. Rod of Ages is already completed. Tear of the Goddess is slowly starting to be filled up. It's already at 404 mana additionally earned, and the Aegis of the Legion has been collected as well. So all of that magic damage that Soaz's Rumble and Expect's Kale is going to be putting down is just going to be mitigated. The minions do land that last hit, though, and pick up the second tower of the game for Fnatic.
So Runic Bulwark, I'm expecting to be the first major item completed by Diamond. I say major item, Aegis of the Legion is pretty major. I expect that to get upgraded, though. I don't think he's going to do anything else other than go full tank right now, early on. Fnatic trying to keep the pressure on towards this mid lane. Darian and Alex Itcho clearing out that wave and just seeing that massive wave clearing potential that they do have. In the jungle, we see Soaz and Cyanide. They're going to try and catch on towards Genja. They do manage to catch him. They get him poked down, and Soaz is going to drop him down here. Cyanide's the one that picks up the kill. Genja, again, caught slightly out of position there, but I don't think they're going to be too worried about that. They might try and turn it in the middle.
To be 100% fair, he's right in front of his tower, so you don't actually expect so many. But the thing is, they didn't have that vision. There is 2 Fnatic wards in the red jungle there of Gambit Gamers. They knew it was coming. Fnatic are pressuring the
Good
middle,
ward.
and we'll see how Gambit do in this bottom lane now.
The ward spotted him out there. They realized Alexic was going to chase him down. Is he going to be able to rift walk in and get the slow on towards Soaz? He does manage to get him down there. Equalizer comes out from Soaz to try and keep them at bay, but Diamond manages to get the Wither down on towards Soaz. They're going to turn it around. They want to put the damage back on towards Alex Itcher. Now they go towards Diamond. They keep the pressure back down. Alex Itch keeping the force down as well. Fnatic, though, all coming in. They're getting assaulted. Battery goes deep on the rift walk of Alex Itch. Stand United now coming out. Intervention on towards Cyanide. They're keeping the damage down, but now Cyanide's in trouble. You see Yellowstar joining the fight. He keeps the pressure down. Back and forth the action goes, but nobody goes down in the end.
That massive shield from Stand United, 550 damage at rank 2 without any ability power boost. Just, it completely kept Alex alive. They threw everything they had onto that Cassidy, and I love watching Assault and Battery track a target even after the Rift Walk, just flying through the air with those massive, massive fists. It wasn't enough to get the kill. Gambit Gaming survived the gank and the pressure, but it was really Fnatic's fault. They were overextended, they got jumped on, and they did well to react to the pressure that Gambit put on them.
But while that fight went back and forward pretty heavily, they did get a good half of that inner turret down. The problem is there's a hell of a lot of ultimates currently down, and you can see Gambit making the move, going towards that dragon. Fnatic are reacting to this one. Peke is teleporting. He's teleporting into the back bush here by the red buff. Are they going to get round in time? Gambit R2 working down that dragon. The dragon's gone down. They're turning to fight. Darian's the target, but Darian is very target heavy tank now, and he's going to get slowly dropped down. Cyanide's taken very low. Cyanide gets dropped. Alex picks up the kill, but Fnatic are trying to turn this one around, chasing on towards Alex Itch. Crescendo comes across the rest of the fight there, and Alex Itch has actually still got away. Gamden finally goes down. Alex Itch, it was Pekka that picked it up there, but they catch on towards Enrated. Darian, though, gets the support down. Now Darian in trouble. Yellowstar kiting him around. Darian's going to get dropped by Soaz, and now there's also a kill. They're chasing back around. You can see Peke coming just off the side here in towards the Tribers. Puts the ward down. Low on mana indeed. Edward forced to flash away. Back on towards Diamond. Prox walks into a ward. Gets the slow down. Puts the Wither back himself and keeps them pinned down. And now Edward, he's trying to back off, but he's going to get pinned down there. Soaz tries to get the slow down. The Rocket's just not quite catching. The final slow comes out from Peke. Dazzle's back on towards Peke. He's not going to be able to walk away from this one, though. Final damage will come out from Peke. He heals out. Takes him long enough, but he picks up the kill. I have no idea who really came out on top of that one. Gambit lost 3 members of their team. Fnatic, I think, lost 1, but Gambit picked up the dragon.
It was a fairly sloppy fight from everybody because the targeting was all over the place. You've seen Soaz and Peke running away, leaving Sona and Corki alone. 2 versus 4. Luckily, a lot of the Gambit members were fairly low in the fight, so they weren't really able to get a very big advantage. They carried on fighting as Soaz and Peke came back into the fight. They were able to close it out a little bit more, but it felt fairly sloppy all over the place. Diamond's going to clear out those that camp and probably just come and help defend this middle tower.
Well, the burn on Genja there. Actually, I think the advantage did go with Fnatic because Peke picked up and ended the killing spree of Alex Itch, which gave him a huge bounty, 500 gold.
Gambit got the dragon,
there.
though.
They did get the dragon, but it was a 3-for-1 with a big bounty. Oh, I tell you what, it's pretty even, and I think Peke is going to be happy with the fact that he picked up some kills out of that one.
Well, there's something we have to touch on. Going into that fight, there was this big peak in power. We've seen the Warmog's armor being completed on Darian Shen. He's got a Zeal in his back pocket, which makes me think he's going to go for a Trinity Force, which is something very important. Runic Bulwark has just been completed a moment or two ago for Nasus. Over on the other side of the coin, Ryla's Crystal Scepter completed, Nash's Tooth, and a Sheen has now been picked up for Expected. They want this blue.
They're going in for it. They have the ping ward down, and Edward immediately dazzling Peke there. Cyanide comes back around. He can smite it away, and he will smite it away. Alex H not being given that one. That's going to slow his cooldowns and his mana. Can they chase on towards this one? They did pull with it on Peke there. He is stood in top of a ping ward, but they're not going to go aggressive. Instead, everybody steps away, takes a breather, and gives me a chance to refresh my lungs.
Now that Wither is such a powerful ability. It is the ability that's being maxed second for Nasus. He has 5 points into his E, the Spirit Fire, 4 points into Wither. At this rank, it is slowing by up to 83% at max. It increases over time. So the longer you are effective by it, the more powerful it is. And you've seen how slow Expected was moving there in the jungle as soon as it got thrown onto him. And a champion like Rumble, like Vi, like Kale, that need to be in your face, need to be there, you know, continually attacking to deal damage. It's an extremely effective ability in these team fights.
I wonder what happened overnight that's really spurred these players on. You know, we had a really slow start to the League of Legends Championship Series. We're just shy of a kill a minute right now, but the action definitely hotted up today. It's been pretty frenetic between both teams, and as it is, it's just crazy pace, and Fnatic have been involved in 2 of them. They already had it. Oh, and it's going to be a dive, and it's going to be Stand United coming out. N-Rated's going to have to use Crescendo, but he's not just about to get it out. Is it enough? Alex Ich is going to get dropped. N-Rated finally goes down. Bullet time is not really going to work out there because Cyanide had the intervention on him. Darian has to get out, and it's Fnatic trying to turn this one around. Diamond taken down very low. Edward with his ultimate running is only going to survive so much longer. You can see Cyanide. He's going to take the turret damage. He picks up the kill as well. It's a 2-for-1, and another great exchange of support for a mid laner.
And don't forget they got Edward as well.
Yeah.
That Crescendo locked up 4 members of Gambit Gaming. The Stand United came in, and the second Shen's face appeared, and Rated said, nope, don't want none of that. Stunned them up, locked them up. Fnatic win the fight. They take the tower potentially here.
Potentially going for the inhibitor turret, but Soaz gets caught out. Stand United comes down there. Genja's going to put the damage down on him from Rage. It looks like Soaz is going to go down. Genja picks that one up. They can pursue on it. Strut's going to kick in a moment. A great shot from Yellowstar, but it's not going to slow them down. Wither will be available any moment now from Diamond. They're going to get towards the turret, and Peke just gets that little speed. He has got intervention back available, and they escape. It was a 2-for-2 overall, but it was an inner turret and half of the inhibitor turret taken down. Gambit want to try and turn this a pressure for a Baron fight.
They're going to try to pick this Baron up as quickly as they can, but there are members of Fnatic around to defend it. The pressure is on Gambit, though. You can see Edward is coming up for their guaranteed Dazzle Stun, and they've gone on expecting.
They managed to catch down Peke. Wither goes down. The Dazzle goes on him as well. They're going to keep the damage down. They're going to force that intervention out. Can they keep pressuring it down? Alex Ich is going to keep on towards Peke. Peke realizes he can get away. Hasn't wasted his ultimate either. Has disengaged very nicely. Just enough time for Soaz and whoever else is going to get back. I can't even count. It's Yellowstar that was in there.
So nicely done. The amount of pressure that's coming on here. I think the teams got together and decided they wanted to kill the shoutcasters because they are not letting us get a breath. It is just aggression, aggression, aggression. Got a quick lull in the action, and I want to touch on that Avarice Blade again. It has been in the back pocket of Genja for the entirety of the last 16 or 17 minutes. It has earned 571 bonus gold on top of everything else with all of the GP10 and with the additional kills. So it is a very, very interesting number right now. Nasus's Q, his siphoning strike, it is still rank 1. He's going to start ranking up, so the base number is 30. It adds 107 based on his attack damage and 207 on top of that extra. So in total, 340 damage per attack at rank 1.
So he's definitely building that up. Once he starts getting that to rank 5, it's going to be a scary, scary Nasus tank wall that comes in. So Fnatic surely have to get this game finished and won. But the question is, can they do it? They are 4-0 up in turrets. That's a huge, huge advantage in terms of map objectives. But it's 12-11 in kills and still only 4,000 gold. They just picked up the Dragon, but honestly, the gold lead is not as big as you would expect when it's a 4-0 in turrets.
Yeah, it's really, really close. The fact that all these killing sprees have been going back and forth. The thing is now, Alex Ich is up in the top lane. The rest of Fnatic are grouped up here. Are we going to see a dive? And Rated and Soaz look like they want to.
They're going to go for that inner turret, and they're going to pick it up. As Gambit realized they had to back away. They are going to finally pick up their first turret of the game, but Alex Ich may need to react to this one. We have 5 members of Fnatic pushing in towards this bottom inhibitor turret. There's the top turret going down. He's teleporting back. Fnatic are going to realize it. They're going to try and pressure before he gets back here, but expect to see Gambit turn and burn the moment those home guard boots are activated for Alex Ich, and they do immediately push back on there, and Fnatic disengage just at the right moment.
There is still no boots on Enrated. He's playing very, very brave, hanging around there in that lane. He's just got that Ruby Sightstone, the Ruby Crystal, and 2 cloth armors, and it does look like the rest of Gambit want that tower. Fnatic might, dare I say it, try backdoor.
Gambit have got mid here. Gambit are going to go straight into mid. And as you mentioned it, Fnatic do turn around. They're like, well, you're going to push him for all that mid. We're going to try and run for that inhibitor turret. Soaz has got enough to tank it up to start with. Maybe they're going to try and get a poke back and forth, see if they can get any sneaky kills. Not going to happen, though. We do see Diamond's going to come around the side here. It's going to poke them back. And again, they keep the damage away from him. Shen has stayed in the middle. So Darian is actually keeping the pressure on towards that inhibitor turret.
Split push, Shen doing what he does best. He's going to be able to join the party with that Stand United, almost level 16, so almost approaching that ultimate, you know, that the rank
teleport.
3 on his ultimate.
He's going in towards mid turret. He's on towards the minion, and actually he's going to try and put the pressure on towards Darian, forces him away and protects the turret, but that's a teleport used, and immediately Crescendo had to be used out, as well as a equalizer on towards Alex Ich. Easy for me to say, but it doesn't catch them down though, but it's another couple of ultimates used and a teleport.
Yes, Summoner spell gone, as well as those cooldowns on the ultimates. Fnatic are just warding up this jungle. There's still no Oracle's Elixir there in the hands of Edward, so he can't clear it out. They tried to get it with a big one, but it doesn't steal it this time.
Not going to get the steal. Genja picks that up. They tried to. get in there. We also see the blue buff now going to start being contested. Cyanide in there. They're trying to disrupt Alex Ich. The rest of Fnatic coming around. Everybody fighting for small, tiniest little global objectives on the map. Blue buff, it seems to be it. Darian hanging around, making sure nobody can get in and smite this one down. And they do manage to give it across to Alex Ich. So, how is this working out, Trevor? I mean, this is just a pretty lively game between these two powerhouses that we expected. 2-0-7 currently for Diamondprox. He's kind of been leading the charge in terms of ganks coming out of that jungle.
Okay, well, take a look at the gold. You can see the numbers on your screen. We're relatively even for the most part, with the exception of Soaz being a good 1,000 gold ahead. Yeah, a couple hundred on the AD carry of Fnatic. So for the most part, they're relatively close. But when we look at the items, which you're going to see, Genja has gone for his secondary defensive item. It is a very powerful defensive item. It's a second Bloodthirster. So two Bloodthirsters and the Avarice Blade on his side at the moment. You can see that Darian is working towards his Trinity Force, but the big difference in terms of items right now comes in our junglers. You've got an Aura jungler from Diamondprox with that Aegis of the Legion that has been upgraded to the Runic Bulwark. Cyanide, on the other hand, has got a Warmog. So great, Cyanide is very tanky, but he's not making his teammates tankier right now. In addition to that, you have Wither and that Spirit Fire from Nasus, which is going to have a very big impact on the entire enemy team. So you've got a big difference in terms of both of those roles, and we'll see how it plays out when we get to these bigger team fights.
Well, we do have an Oracle from Fnatic here. Cyanide has just used it. He's clearing out all of the Baron pits. So Fnatic looking like they may well try and create a play here. Will it be towards that Baron? Will they try and force an objective? They do, of course, have 5-1 in turrets. Alex Ich looking to try and get a cheeky push on towards Cyanide there, and Cyanide forced to just dash away. Trying to get collapsed on by Diamond, not going to happen.
No, not this time around. They are just in this tentative moment where both teams is waiting for someone to overstep. Both teams are waiting for that little bit of over-aggression or, being caught behind enemy lines without the proper vision or positioning. We still do not see any boots coming out of N-rated Sona. He's relying on his E, the Song of Celerity, to keep his movement speed up in these engagements. But we do see a locket of the Iron Solaria being picked up for Edward. So that extra shield is going to be there, which is so powerful.
Double Bloodthirster picked up by Genja. This is something we've seen from him before as well. And he's making sure he keeps that life steal pretty high. And,
yeah, it's actually insane right now. He's got both of them. The first one is fully stacked. The second one has got 3 stacks on it. 37% life steal right now before the fully stacked up secondary one. So we'll see how high that gets. Diamondprox, on the other hand, he's got 3 ranks into his Q. The Siphoning Strike is down to a 6-second cooldown. And it is currently hitting, if my math is correct, around 500 damage.
Second turret of the game for Gambit here, which is a little crazy for me to say at the 31-minute mark. Gambit just picking up their second outer turret. That middle turret being protected very well by Fnatic. And, all the crazy, strange dives we've seen at 4 minutes, not really working out for either team, but it is Gambit that are slowly clawing themselves back. So, quick shot. We're coming into 31 minutes. We're probably going to hit the 40-minute mark in this game now, I suspect. Who has the stronger late game team?
I think I'm going to have to give this one to Gambit right now. In terms of how their composition is set up, Nasus is going to become almost unkillable, and his ultimate is his Siphoning Strike, his Q, is going to be on a fairly short cooldown by the time the fight. The longer the fight goes, the more damage he's going to be putting out. In addition, you've got the Stand United shield from Shen. You have the auras that comes out from Tarek. So I feel like they're getting more and more powerful. There is a great composition from Fnatic, but it's extremely reliant on landing those crescendos. And Diamondprox, he might find a death bush.
He's going into the death bush. It's going to be enough, though. The right person to go in there. Stand United comes out. Bullet Time manages to land everyone, but it's an assault and battery on towards Genja to disrupt him. But Cyanide now, he's taken very low, having to get out of this one. Darian, and Alex Ich gets in, gets the Force Pulse. Maybe puts him down, but Peke comes around. He gets on towards Edward. Cyanide taking very low. It's a triple kill. Picked up in one single Force Pulse. Quadra kill comes out. Peke so low. Could we see the pentakill coming out from Alex Ich? He's going to pursue this one. Darian comes around. No, because Peke comes around and Genja steals away the pentakill. It doesn't matter, though, because it's an ace for Gambit Gaming, and they're going to go for the Baron.
That is exactly what I was talking about. The Stand United manages to save Diamondprox, comes in, follows it up with a 3 or a 4-man taunt. Immediately after that, you have Tarek joining the party with his armor aura, with his ultimate, with the locket of the Iron Solaria. It was just such a decimation from Gambit Gaming. And remember, they were the ones that were caught. They were the ones that got jumped on. 3 members of the team locked up by Crescendo. Fnatic simply couldn't pick up the kills quickly enough.
Baron kill picked up. They're going to go straight in towards the middle lane. And as it is, they are going to take down its outer turret as well. So that's the third turret of the game for Gambit. 16-13 in kills, 5-3 in turrets. Such a close game right now. 33 minutes gone. I don't believe how much amazing games we've had this morning. It's been absolutely brilliant here in the League of Legends Championship Series.
Yeah, it has been non-stop the entire time. Immediately following that Baron, Gambit Gaming pick up a tower in that middle lane. That's tower number 3 for them, and it looks like they're busy setting up for the Dragon. So they should be able to pick this one up, but Fnatic are moving in to defend. If Fnatic can pick this up, it'll keep them relevant gold-wise, but that Baron buff on Gambit has just put a big pause on any plays that Fnatic are going to want to make.
Well, we don't have Volibear playing, so the big paws are not quite in the game, but... sorry, I can't resist right now because I've not been able to get too many points because the games have just been amazing this morning. I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm 4 energy drinks in so far right now. It's been a pretty high-paced action, and I'm starting to get a little bit hot and heavy as we get 34 minutes into this game. Gold advantage now with Gambit. It has been with Fnatic for most of the game, so power shift definitely starting to get shown here. We see across the board the gold advantage. It's really on to Genja and, of course, Alex Ich. Alex Ich has been instrumental 9, 4, and 5, but every single one of those kills has been set up for him by Diamondprox, by Darian. It is all working out so well. And, well, Gambit on the push, on the charge once again. They all have the Baron buff. What are they going to make advantages of this one? They've got 2 minutes left on this Baron.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult for Fnatic to break through this front line right now. They jumped into Diamond. They put a few abilities on him to try to secure the kill, but as soon as he throws his ultimate on, then gets that Stand United shield, and any single target from Gambit that gets caught out is going to have that massive, massive shield from Darian. Because of all the gold that they earn from Baron, from the farm, and etc., you can see Arandian's Omen has been completed for Diamondprox. So now not only does he have all of those extra auras and the armor debuff, etc., 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 he can now remove the movement speed, the attack speed from his opponents. Alex Ich has got the Zonya's Hourglass, the Seraph's Embrace, the Rod of Ages. He is hitting
Edward's going to get caught. Hard. No, he's actually caught on towards the Pekka instead. He's had to use that intervention very early on to try and prevent the damage. Is it going to be enough? Crescendo comes across through the bushes. Pekka doesn't have flash. He is going to get taken down. It's Alex Ich that picks up the kill. Now we see them turning out towards Yellowstar. Yellowstar pops under the turret, and it's going to be Genja that picks up that kill. Diamond, meanwhile, 2v1 pushing. He's going to come around. Soaz is actually on the turret. He isn't going to get dived on. They're going to go push for the middle turret instead.
Yeah, they've got minions coming up, which Genja is trying to move even quicker. Diamondprox is just going to face tank it with all of that HP and armor that he's got. It's barely going to scratch him. They got very good wave clear with that Nasus here, and now they're going to carry on pushing onto the inhibitor turret. There's simply not enough members of Fnatic to defend this one, and it looks like the first inhibitor of the game is going to go to Gambit Gaming.
Gambit Gaming do get in. They get the inhibitor turret down. They get the inhibitor. They could, turn and push straight into this one. They were actually pinging on the Nexus turrets there. Instead, they're going to go for that inner turret of the top lane and maybe even things up. It's 5-5 in turrets right now. They're going to push it to 6-5.
6-5 in turrets. They've got the gold lead for the first time. It's considerable in a while.
Diamond's already on it. He's like, hey guys, I'm kind of tanking this. Everybody else, get back here. They were taking golems instead. They weren't worried about the giant creep wave that is coming in, and that's going to be another inner turret down. Fnatic have all respawned though, so they should be able to defend this inhibitor turret out.
And again, now the Baron buff is just about to wear off. The time has just about run out, and if super creeps down the middle lane, Fnatic are completely locked on their half of the map. Alex Ich just outright picks up that Void Staff, and we see down in Tarek's side, he's actually completed his Mercury trades. Still no boots for Enrated, still no movement, additional movement speed for that Sona for Fnatic.
Genja farming up by Fnatic's base. He's that confident in his pure vision of the entire base, because you can see all the wards across the river, all the crawl wards across the jungles of Fnatic as well, and Fnatic are just having to defend out every little wave. 10-4-6 currently Alex Ich, but all of those kills have just been set up perfectly by Darian, by Diamondprox, by Edward getting the stuns. It has just been following up the damage perfectly.
And very interestingly, out of Soaz, he's got the makings of a Rabadon's death cap, so he's gone pure glass cannon AP rumble right now. Rylai's as well as Leandri's, and just going, super damage. On the other side, you've got Trinity Force, Warmogs, Double Giant's Belt, and Ruby Crystal. I mean, that's a Darian Shen that has 4,500 hit points right now.
Yeah, and the Trinity Force.
Tons of damage.
Tons of damage to go with it. We have a Warmog's already on there. He's stacking himself up. We got a Randian's Omen. We got a Bruni Bulwark. We got another Giant's Belt on Diamond. There's just so many hit points in that front line that Genja is just feeling just perfectly, you know, impenetrable. He's untouchable because anyone goes near him, Edward's just going to dazzle them. So as it stands right now, Gambit are in a very strong position, and Fnatic are going to have to pull off a perfect engagement to win a fight.
Yeah, they need to kill either Cassidy or Misfortune quickly.
There it is, Crescendo. Is it going to be enough on towards Alex? Equalizer comes out. They do manage to get Assault and Battery, but the Zonya's Hourglass from Alex turns it straight around. XPK does use his intervention, but Cyanide, he's going to try and get around. He flashes through, but Gambit Gaming can't follow this one up. It's going to be N-Rated that gets focused on Soaz. Caught out where he stands. He gets dropped. It's Diamond Prox that picks up the kill on that one. Alex is hitting and run, but they're going to get on towards Peke. Peke trying to get on towards him. Bullet time comes out. Is it enough? It catches him just as he steps on the fountain. Alex takes him down. They're on towards the Nexus turrets, and Gambit Gaming are going to take away the victory here against Fnatic. They're 20-13 up in kills. They were so far behind in turrets, but it doesn't matter. Gambit was so strong towards the end, and they pick up another victory against Fnatic. They are now 2-0 against them in the League of Legends Championship Series, and now Gambit top the league.
Such a strong performance right at the end. Fnatic made a desperation play, landed the crescendo, threw everything they had onto Alex, and it did not secure them any kills. Really good play from Gambit. They just brute forced their way through to victory. A deserved win.
A deserved win indeed. Let's get over to our odds analysis desk because it was another fantastic game. 3 brilliant matches for you this morning. We're going to have 3 more to come, but let's see what they got to say about that one.
Yeah, really great performance there coming out from Gambit. Aranea, Jason, what do you think of that one?
Yeah, it's really nice because Gassi didn't get a lot of early kills. He got a double kill, I think, in bottom or in mid lane, and then it was a snowball from that. And in team fights, Gassi was really painful for Fnatic.
Yeah, really to say the coordination of both teams. I mean, in the early game, we saw Cyanide coming in with those boots mobility to save XPK multiple times, turn it around in a couple of kills. And you look over at Gambit side, I mean, towards the end, they were like all flashing over that wall in the base just to get in and finish it off. It was just very well coordinated. Both teams playing extremely well.
And we've seen a lot of good Cassidy's. I mean, almost reminiscent of, you know, the mid-season 2 times or the start of season 2 times where we saw Cassidy in pretty much every game. I mean, they only really changed his rift walk there. I think it was 2 seconds extra cooldown, and everyone's like, I'm not playing that anymore. 2 seconds extra. Nah, I'm not going to do that. But now we see that actually he's still so strong. And even with that extra cooldown on rift walk, it's a ridiculously strong spell to have. The mobility that you have is unmatched almost.
Yeah, I was saying that it's the second game we see Cassidy, and it's the second quadra kill. It was the first time for Jersen, the Pentaboy. Now he got a quadra kill, and now Alex is got a quadra kill. So it's really amazing, both games with Cassidy.
And you really have to commend Alex, because he was down 30-40 CS in the lane because Expected was zoning him so well, and then he got, you know, 1 kill, finally got an assist and started to snowball. And I guess that's what Cassidy does best. He snowballs extremely hard against your team with his mobility, and just, wow. I mean, that Baron fight, I really have to say, which is actually the replay we're going to go into, but that Baron fight by him was just insane.
Yeah, they were waiting, all of the Fnatic team was waiting for Gambit Gaming to fade tech, to wait for the wicked fade tech, but it was the Nasus fade tech, full HP, that he could survive all the focus, and we're going to see now the replay.
All right, well, let's give you some context. It's 11-12 in favor of Fnatic. The gold lead as well, it's at 45.2 thousand gold for them to the 43.4 thousand gold of Gambit Gaming. 5 turrets to 2. And Fnatic, they had the lead at this point. But let's go ahead and get the replay on your screen and just show you how it kind of fell out of their own favor. And Aranea, why don't you walk us through this? You're talking about the face check and the death bush, I think is quick shot.
The wicked tech, they had the Oracle, they were cleaning all the wards, and they were waiting for the Gambit to fade tech, right? And it was the full team waiting at that brush. We're going to see that Nasus is like taking, waiting. We're like, oh, he's gonna do it. Oh, he's going. Oh, he's going. And now, with this fade tech, it was 4 guys of Fnatic, 4 members. They burst on him, but still with his ultimate, with the locket of Edward, and with all the survive and CC, it was perfect for Gambit Gaming. And we're gonna see now, I think the first one dying is Genja, if I don't remind badly. Now Kale coming, and he one-shot Genja on 1 second. Edward. It was Edward, but now it's Cassidy just destroying the full team. We see like all of Fnatic team really low, and now it's the triple kill with with the E, it's just perfect.
With style.
With the style. And quadra kill, and almost a pentakill that it was
stolen by Genja.
Misfortune get the kill, right?
Secured it.
The secure kill. Well, actually, he was going to die.
Yeah,
in different attack, he was going to die, Kassadin. So, wow.
And we saw in that fight just how strong the double bloodthirsters were for Genja, because he was getting dove on by Cyanide every single time, but he healed up every shot, was like 80 health every time, and he just did not go down, and especially since Cyanide had no backup, he had no dive buddy.
Yep.
I mean, a bad day at the office, I think we can say for Fnatic today here. Obviously, they lost their first game against Wolves, which will have come as a surprise to them. I mean, maybe not a surprise to everyone, because we've seen how Wolves have progressed and got better, especially, obviously, last night when they managed their first victory here, when they went 1 for 9 to now they're 2 for 9. They're on a roll. 2 games in a row. I don't want to jinx it yet. So they're on a roll right now. But Fnatic are on a roll in the other direction. They're going downhill. Yep. And that's not something that they can really afford to do. Obviously, their games for today are now over. But the 2 that they've played, they've lost both of them.
Yes, I said, like, I wanted to give my predictions, and I told to Quick Boy that I wanted to Fnatic to win the game against GG. But again, I'm missing all my predictions today. It's like, not my day.
So if Aranea bets on a team,
don't do it. Never trust me.
And the thing is, I mean, Fnatic lost those 2 games, but it's not like they played terrible. I mean, they were really well-played games by both teams. It was very head-to-head, and it's something that, honestly, I really enjoy seeing right now, is because when we went into LCS, we had those top 3-4 teams, and we had these new 4 teams come in, and we're kind of worried, will they be able to match the same skill level? And, you know, in the first 2 weeks, we didn't really see that well of gameplay out of the lower 4 teams, but now, I mean, just look at them. The time, the training that they've been able to do, it's just... It's amazing. It really is.
And I have to say as well, the games that we've seen so far today have been, wow, insane, right? They've been really insane. Even yesterday, the final 3 games that we commentated together, the last 3 games of yesterday, were also really, really crazy. But first, before we head over towards an interview, we've got to crown an MVP for this one, and it was kind of an easy choice.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I would like to give it to Diamond Prox, because he didn't die in the whole game, and he was like, perfect position every time doing the counter gangs and played perfectly, but still.
Alex.
Kassadin.
Yeah, you got to give it to that Kassadin once again. I mean, he had a great performance there, ending with 11-4-7 by the end of things. And, well, we saw his positioning was just so great every time. Obviously, the quadra kill was a really big icing on the cake.
He played really aggressive. Like, every time he was getting ultimate by Vi, because he was every time in the front of the team, but still he was doing tons of damage, as Freak will say, and yeah.
I mean, that Rod of Ages and the Sarah's Embrace just allowed him to do that, because you saw that shield in that Baron fight, how much health they gave, or how much, not health, but how much of a protective barrier it gave him, and they just could not burst through that. They couldn't even kill Diamond with all 5 members attacking him with him not even prepared for it.
Well, that's bringing our little segment here to an end, and your time as well. So, Aranea, thank you very, very much for joining us. We're going to have another special guest here filling his seat. We're not going to give away that secret just yet. But for now, we're going to head over to the main stage where Shox is waiting with Alex Itch.
Thank you. I'm here with Darian, and Alex is going to help translate and also, you know, give us some of his comments. Starting off, Darian, the name of the game was really being ganked and then, or ganking and getting counter-ganked. How did the beginning of the match go for you guys?
Ну, вся игра состояла из гангов и каунтер-гангов. И как вообще, ну, как само начало игры, как это повлияло?
Ну, игра была довольно-таки от дефа у обеих команд, но так как у нас были сломанные таверы на всех сторонах, это улучшило положение фнатиков в игре. В итоге они как проявляли агрессию, но за счет того, что у нас был Шен, они как-то не могли очень-таки серьезно дальше свое преимущество использовать.
So Darian's saying that game was pretty defensive from our side and from their side, but Fnatic got advantage because they got a lot of early turrets, and because of that they were like paying more aggression and trying to dominate the map, but because we got Shen, we could negate that aggression.
Yeah, you were on Shen, and as Rumble on the opposite side built more and more AP, you got tankier. Is that how you knew you could dominate him later on in the game?
То есть он собирался full AP в Rumble, а ты собирался в танка, и помогало ли тебе это против него, ну и вообще по игре?
Ну, я бы не сказал, что я собирался в танка, да. Вторым моим артефактом был Trinity Force. Это такой полубилд, я бы сказал бы. мне было очень сложно играть против Рамбла на линии, потому что, во-первых, я использовал ультимейт, когда в мою сторону, в сторону противника запушивали скрипы. Потом дальше Рамбл взял еще 2 килла, когда очень затянулось убийство Кайли. И мне очень было сложно на первых, но после того, как я потерял тавер, тавер был пропущен на топе, мне было уже легче играть. И вот так вот.
So Darian saying that he was not just tanky, his second item was Trinity Force, so it was kind of hybrid build, so he got some damage, and he says that it was really hard for him against Rumble because first time when he ulted, like the lane was pushing to his side and he lost a lot of creeps, and then Rumble got 2 frags, so Rumble was really ahead, but then Rumble pushed the turret and it became really easy to play for Shen.
So about SOAS, a couple of interviews ago, he said, I think that me and Wicked are the strongest top laners in Europe. Do you agree? Probably not. And where do you rank yourself?
SOAS сказал, что, наверное, SOAS и Wicked лучшие топ-лейнеры в Европе. Согласен ли ты с ними и что ты думаешь по этому поводу?
Ну, не знаю насчет того, что думает Соос, но Викиду я проиграл недавно, это была моя очень большая ошибка, но потом я отыгрался. Соос же я выиграл уже 2 раза у Сооза. Может быть, это было не за счет меня, а за счет моей команды, но все равно счет 2-0, и тут уже думаете вы, зрители.
So Darian saying that Darian lost 1 time to Wicked, but then like we won. He says that it's team game, and maybe he's not sure that like it is him winning Sauce or just our team winning their team, but it's 2-0 score, so the viewers should think about that.
It's a team game indeed. A question for you, Alex. Genja stole your pentakill. What went through your mind there?
It was like, I was really afraid of dying at that time. I got like 100 HP left. So I really wanted for Penta, but I shouldn't go there at all, I think. And I wasn't really like that. I was like, okay, I didn't have Penta, but quarter kill is enough for me. And I got a lot of gold steal from that, and I could dominate really hard of the team fight.
Finally, do you have any message for your manager?
Yeah, our manager, coach, and our good friend, Groove, Konstantin Pikiner, got the birthday. So we really want to congratulate him. Wish him the best of luck. Wish him. I think I want to wish him like family. I mean wife and stuff, because he's growing up and he's still like a child, but he's really grown up one, and he helps us a lot. It's like because he's some kind of at the same moment really grown up like man, but still like some child in his heart. It's really helping us a lot because he's joking a lot. He is all the time positive, and that's really helping us.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex and Darian. Now, our Twitter question, remember, if you could select an all-star NA lineup to compete in the European LCS, who would it be? Tweet us your answer at LOL eSports, #LCS, the same for any questions you may have for us in the studio. Up next are 2 teams that have strong all-around performances, and this match is going to be an interesting one. The Dragonborns take on Against All Authority. I'm sorry, they take on Giants, we just saw Against All Authority. We'll be right back.